I am back yet again with one of my absolute favorite topics. Peace. Peace. Isn't that such a beautiful word? Just hearing it. Peace. It just sounds peaceful. Peace. Peace. And then the more you say it, it starts to sound weird. Peace. Peace. What's that? There's a word for that. The more you say something, it starts to sound weird. There's an actual word for that, and I cannot remember it. Peace is a wonderful thing to have in your life, and most people need more peace. The problem is that they focus on happiness and dopamine. We have become so addicted to dopamine that we think that being without it is causing us to be unhappy, when in reality, you're just struggling with addiction withdrawals. Dopamine from little activities such as scrolling on your phone, opening Instagram, checking on that guy you like to see if he saw your story. Yeah, I know you do that. Those things do not lead to peace. And the more you do them, the more you become addicted to doing them and getting those little hits of dopamine, the worse you're going to feel afterwards. That tends to be the case with things that aren't fulfilling. True fulfillment, things that take some work to get, or things that you actually have to be productive to achieve, that leads to lasting happiness. And peace is very important in order to live a happy life. I'm at a point in my life where I don't have any drama. I've gotten to a point where I don't have any person in my life that causes me stress or drama. And I mean unnecessary stress and drama, because every life comes with stress and drama. Things are outside of our control. People get into accidents and things happen. But what I'm talking about is people who like to stir up drama, who like to talk about other people's life, gossip. I don't partake in any of that. And I had to get to a point where I was realizing that I was allowing a lot of those people into my life. And although it wasn't my fault, it was still my responsibility to deal with it, because I kept ending up in these situations where I would end up in dramatic situations with fights and just dumb college, high school type situations. And I had to do a little self-check-in and say, hey, what am I doing? Because it's not me. I'm not starting this stuff. It's not my fault, but it's still, again, my responsibility because I'm allowing it into my life. So I had to make some changes, and I also had to take a look at myself to see if I was triggering any type of drama or causing, I had to do that real work and being completely honest with myself. It led me to cutting people out of my life who were causing unnecessary stress and drama. And I can happily say that I'm at a point in my life where I cannot remember the last time somebody called me angry, yelling at me and screaming and fighting, or sending me dramatic screenshots and just all the BS that I used to put up with, that I no longer put up with. I'm at a point in my life where I hang out with mature adults. It's like some people never grow up, I guess, and they stay in that post high school, college years for a long time. And I wasn't into that. I'm interested in growth. I'm interested in people who work hard, and no matter where they're at in life, I don't care, my friends, if you're broke, if you're struggling with past trauma, this and that, I don't care about any of that, as long as you're a genuine person, you're honest, you're real, and you're working on yourself. Because I might be on my own path in my life and what I'm trying to achieve, but you're working on some kind of path and going in some kind of positive direction. That is my advice on finding peace, number one, because so many of us allow things and people into our life that we shouldn't be, that are causing us distress. It's okay to let people go. It doesn't mean you don't care about them. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It just says, you're just saying, hey, I cannot deal with your choices anymore. The way you choose to live your life. I don't want to put up with it anymore. I don't want that in my life. If you change and there's, you find a different way of living your life, maybe we can revisit a friendship later. But for right now, I just need space and I need to work on myself. Because sometimes being around the people who are causing us all this distress is not conducive to a life or a situation where you can figure out what you need to change about yourself, because they're keeping you where they want you to be in life and doing the things that they want you to do in life. I would take a look at that and understand that, some people come into your life and they break your heart, but they fix your vision and they help you see clear and they help you understand what it is that you need to focus on and what you need to change. And have self-respect. Don't allow all this bullshit into your life. Don't allow all these people into your life who bring you down, who don't support you, who don't uplift you and motivate you and push you to be better. Another thing I want to talk about when we talk about this topic about peace is don't deny your reality by lying to yourself that you like somebody or something, even if you don't. I often see this, people who are trying to be stoic and positive and happy, and they're like, oh, I like everybody and everything is wonderful. And I just think, are you seriously? Like, you really feel that way? Like, you really feel that nobody or nothing bothers you? If so, that's awesome. Keep doing that. But for me, there are people I don't like. There are things I don't like. And I don't want to lie to myself and tell myself that I am okay with those things or I like those things just to feel like I'm creating peace and happiness in my life. I think being in conflict with yourself is not peace. That is not harmony. You can't be in harmony and be in conflict with yourself. And that is a thing, I guess, that I see a lot of people try to pretend, I guess, that they're okay with all this stuff, because it kind of comes off as phony, this toxic positivity stuff, right? And I don't think that leads to any sustainable long-term peace and happiness. I think you have to deal with the things you don't like. Like I said, you have to cut people out. You have to tell people how you feel. Set your foot down. Be honest. But hey, if those people really are happy with everything and everybody, that's rare. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong on this. But I often see it and I go, that doesn't quite sound right. It just doesn't seem like you're being completely honest with yourself. And you need to be completely honest with yourself if you want to create true peace. If there is something in your life that's causing you distress and it's a problem, I think you should deal with it. If it's in your control, however you need to deal with that. That doesn't mean you have to be an asshole. I think a lot of times when I talk about this, people are like, oh, well, that's being rude or an asshole. No, you're not being an asshole for setting your foot down. You're not being an asshole for having self-respect and setting boundaries. That's not being an asshole. You have to respect yourself and others. Respect isn't just about respecting others. It's about respecting yourself as well. And saying that I'm not going to just put up with anything just because I'm positive and nice and sweet. I had to learn that difference too. I used to be a people pleaser. I would do everything. I would just say yes. I didn't ever want to hurt anybody or hurt their feelings, so I would just go along with everything. I didn't have any self-respect or boundaries. That's not healthy. That doesn't lead to a healthy, happy life. You have to set your foot down. And if you do, oftentimes what happens is you say no to someone. It actually helps them out because then they can figure out what they need to do. They can go, oh, well, let me find somebody who can help me. A lot of times when we're people pleasers, we don't want to say no and we drag it out and we don't give a clear answer. And then we just end up confusing the other person or wasting their time when you could have just said, no, thank you, or no, I'm not able to do that at this time, so they can move on. People aren't going to die without our help. We're important, but we're not that important that a person will not be able to survive if you don't help them out. I try to say yes as much as I can to people. I try to be somebody who helps people out and do everything that I can. Sometimes I have to say no, and sometimes I choose to say no because I just don't want to, or I just don't think it's something that I want to do or deal with. Sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do in life, right? Like if your friend is hurt or they need to be picked up in the middle of the night because they made a dumb choice. I think those are times in life where we have to go, okay. But when it becomes a consistent thing, that's when it's an issue. And that's what I look at in life. You know, I can look at, this was a one-time thing, whatever. But if it becomes a consistent behavior and people are not interested in changing their ways, then I have to say, okay, well, I'm going to take my piece and I'm going to leave. And I wish you the best. I'll be thinking about you and hoping the best for you, but I can't be part of your life. But if there are things in life that you can't change, and there are things, situations, and people that you have to deal with, then you have to learn to accept them. I'm actually kind of weird about this stuff. I think I'm weird in general. But I have learned to like things that most people don't like. I like cleaning up. I'm very tidy as a person, so I think I find it to be very satisfying to clean up and tidy up a home. But I enjoy all kinds of stuff now, even traffic. That is kind of one of my Achilles heels. I tend to have a little bit of an anger problem with traffic just because LA drivers are terrible. Terrible. I don't know what it is about specifically in LA. They drive selfishly. They don't ever let you in or try to help you out. There's such a difference between driving in LA and just driving a little bit further out. If I go to Thousand Oaks or I go out just a little bit further out in the valley, people are so nice. But here in LA, in the city, nobody cares about you. I don't like the LA drivers. But anyway, I've learned to like traffic. I'm like, okay, well, this gives me a chance to think and I can work on myself and my thoughts, or I can sit and listen to an interesting podcast or some music. I've learned to see the good in every outcome. I adopted this mentality when I was a teenager. I said to myself, whether A happens or B, I'm going to find the good in both options. For example, something as simple as going out for the evening. Oh, if I get to go out, I get to see this friend, we'll have a great time. I'll get, some social interaction. I'm an extrovert, so that helps me get my energy up and I get excited about that. But if not, then I can have a productive night in. I can get a lot of stuff done. So I always find the good in each option. I usually see it as option A or B. It's going to happen or it's not going to happen. Job opportunity, same thing. Yes, I've been working so hard for this. I'm so excited about this opportunity. I got it. Or no, I wasn't ready. I got to get back. I got to keep trying. And I learned from this. It helped me grow. Rejection is part of life. I always choose to see the good in each outcome of life. That is my choice. I choose to do that. And people think I'm crazy. I always get Nikki, you're so positive. It's so annoying. I'm like, man, leave me alone. Let me do what works for me. This might not work for you. If you want to, be negative and unhappy, then have at it. Doesn't affect me. Take a look at your daily habits. The little things that you do every day, the little things that you put up with, not just the people, but the things that you're doing yourself that might not be creating peace. Endless scrolling on your phone, or what it is. I don't even have to sit here and tell you. You know the things that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing. And it's not that you don't have to cut it out entirely. Cut back. If you like watching TikTok videos, you don't have to do it for 6 hours a day. And I'm telling you, go check. If you have an iPhone, go check your screen time. See what you're actually spending on each app and get real, get honest with yourself. I'm sure if you don't have an iPhone, every smartphone probably has some similar feature to seeing where you're spending all your time. So if you're seeing that and go, 5 hours, what could I have done with 5 hours today? maybe it's time to rethink that a little bit. Maybe 30 minutes is enough at the end of the day, 30 minutes an hour. Another habit that I've really found to be helpful is the daily journal. I think it's called the daily journal. I think the original creators are Mimi Icon and her husband. Econ or Icon? I don't know how you say their name. I feel bad. I've been following them since I was probably 14. They're the only influencers that I follow on social media. I don't really like a lot of influencers, but them I really like. They're very positive and they have good messages. And this daily journal, the 5-minute journal, that's what it's called. The 5-minute journal is excellent. It helps you focus your mind first thing in the morning on something positive. It sets the tone for your day. Remember, the first thing you do in the morning sets the tone for your entire day. So if you choose to go on your phone and consume a bunch of negativity online and hate and this and that, that sets the tone for the day you're going to have. The habit that habit journal, what's it called? I just said it, 5-minute journal is excellent. I really like it. I haven't been doing it recently, but I noticed when I was using it, it just helped me look at things in a positive way, put a positive spin on everything. I was like, man, nothing can get to me. And that's the greatest part about refocusing your life to focus on peace, is that very little can get to you. People's words, their negativity, their anger, all the stuff, it's like it's not going to phase you because you realize it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with their behavior and how they feel. They're just projecting their own anger about themselves onto you. So it's really nice. It's very freeing. It's a very freeing feeling. Freedom. There's a lot of freedom and peace. I wrote down, I'm laughing at my own notes. I wrote, affirmations are garbage. Maybe this is a hot take. I just don't think you create sustainable change by standing in the mirror and telling yourself that you're great, you're awesome, you're going to do this, you got this. I'm happy, I'm positive. I don't think that does anything. You have to become somebody that you can trust. And the way you do that is becoming consistent in what you do and following through with the promises that you make to yourself. I'm going to the gym in the morning. Go to the gym in the morning. Every time you don't do the thing you say you're going to do, you're letting yourself down. You stop trusting yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, who's going to trust you? How are you a trustworthy person if you don't do the things that you say you're going to do? That's how you build confidence. Confidence stems from following through with what you say you're going to do and becoming somebody you can trust. You don't become confident by shouting affirmations at yourself in the mirror. If that works for you too, then hey, maybe it's just a nice bonus. I don't think it's a bad habit. I definitely have days where I need to get it together and I'll do a cheesy little, okay, Nikki, we got this. We're going to have a great day today. You know, it's not a negative thing. It's not a bad thing. But again, I don't think that is what leads to change. It doesn't lead to you becoming somebody who is those things that you're telling yourself in the mirror. You have to take action. Actions speak louder than words. We all know this. Okay, I think I've been talking here for about 20 minutes. I like to keep this around 20, 30 minutes, not talk for too long here, but I do want to leave you with one final piece of advice that I've found to be helpful, that I've shared with people and they've found this to be helpful as well. I have no clue where I got this. You know, so many things that I hear from so many different mediums and outlets. I don't even know how do I give credit to anybody? Because I've heard this from so many different people. I'm sure a lot of things you hear me talk about are things that you've heard before. People always get on me, you got to give credit. I'm like, man, I know. But if it's a direct quote, I agree, you got to give credit to that. You can't steal things and claim it to be your own words. But if it's just general concepts and ideas, like, I digress. My advice is to find who your 2-minute versus your 2-hour versus your 2-day and 2-week people are. Meaning, who in your life do you want to spend 2 minutes with? Hey, how you been? Good, life is good. Can't complain. The weather's nice. All right, see you next time. That's your 2-minute person. You don't have to cut people out cold. What's the word? Cut, like in a cutthroat kind of way. You know, you don't have to be like, I'm never speaking to you again. I'm going to block you on social media. It doesn't have to be that extreme. You just say, I don't want this person in my life right now. I'm just going to say hello to them. I'm going to be cordial and respectful, but I'm not going to invest any more time than that. And then your 2-hour person is who you'd go to lunch with. You see every now and then. Maybe you grab a meal together, chit chat a little bit. And then, 2 days, 2 weeks, so on and so forth, right? Those are the people you'd probably want to live with or travel with. Your spouse, your roommate, those are people who are the 2 week, 2 month, 2 year people, right? Could you spend 2 years with somebody straight? I don't know. That's a tough one. My battery's blinking, which is my sign that I'm going to go. I hope that tip was helpful. I hope today's topic helps you find some peace in your life. Take care. Until next time. You're not going to move around, are you, when I talk? This microphone likes to dance.